Hello, I'm Blake, and I want to welcome you to the online community of Three Trails. And you may want to be asking, why in the world am I holding a board game? But this is one of my favorite games that our family plays. And I don't know if you've ever played the game of life, but you start off with a decision of, do you go the career path? Do you pay $100,000 and you do the college path? And then you kind of meander through life, and you have different decisions, and you get married, you graduate, you have kids, you have the new one is you have pets, but at the end of the game, no matter what you've done and what you have accomplished, the winner is the person who has the most amount of money, and that's who has won life. The sad thing is I believe many of us live life like that. Whoever has the end, let's just rush to retirement. Can I get to retirement? Am I healthy enough for retirement? And I'll end my days, and life was great. And then some of us have realized that that is not a very satisfied life. And so we have done things like, well, maybe it was marriage. I mean, if I just get that right person, or if I can date what gender I want or what gender I want to be, and I can just be satisfied in that. And then it's, man, what about kids? I want kids. Or maybe you've tried to find life in your career, and you've gone up the corporate ladder, or you've gone through good deeds, and you're doing all these things. And you're asking yourself, is this what life is all about? Last week we started a series called Satisfied. And we did this because it was based on a question that a teenager sent us about they never being feel satisfied in their sexual identity and in who they are able to be in love with. And it led us to that there are many great people, be from Mick Jagger to Bono to Solomon, who wrote a book of the Bible, that there have been many people who have searched and searched for satisfaction, and they can't get no. And so we talked about a lady who, she was one of those people, and she was that person, okay? She had to go get water at noon because the crowds didn't want her, or she didn't want to be around the crowds. And as she interacted with Jesus, Jesus pointed her to the fact that he was the source of life, and he called it, if you knew the gift of God, and he who was talking to you, you would have asked of him, and he would have gave you living water. And they have this dialogue to the point where Jesus says, I am your source of life. And she doubles down on it and tells everyone in the village about the source of life, Jesus. And we talked about this. Really, is God really the source of life, or is religion? Because really, if you look at religion, doesn't it just control us? I mean, religion is the reason why we can't have abortion. Religion is why people can't marry who they love. Religion is why we have all these wars. Does religion really satisfy? And I have to agree with you. It doesn't. It is in this very truth that Jesus speaks this passage. He says, Jesus said to them, truly I tell you, I am the gate for the sheep. All who come before me are thieves and robbers. But the sheep didn't listen to them. I am the gate. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved, and he will come in and go out and find pasture. A thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I've come that you so may have life, and you're going to have it in the abundance. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. Now, as 21st century Americans, we don't raise sheep, most of us. So this whole gate of the sheep and the good shepherd and all this, it kind of maybe goes over our head. But he's using this illustration of a first century shepherd. And when my wife and I lived in Ethiopia, we actually would see this on a hill right above our house where they had a pen just like this. And when the shepherd would go lead the sheep off into the pasture, they would, find everything they would need. They would go get water and everything else. And then he would lead them into the sheep pen. And then he would sleep at the entrance, and he would be the gate. And if any animal or anything wanted to get in, they had to go through him. And it was through doing that, he protected his sheep and provided life to the fullest for that sheep. Now, the hearers of that day, they would have traced Jesus saying, I am the shepherd, to a very important passage. Maybe you've heard it at a funeral, or it's Psalm 23, where it says, God is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leads me into pasture. He leads me to water. He leads me through the darkest parts of my life. He leads me in the presence of my enemies. I will have everything I need because God is my shepherd. And that is exactly what Jesus is teaching in this passage. If you want life to the fullest, where God has a mission just for you, and then you will enter into his eternal kingdom, you follow and you enter through the gate. Now, everybody else, be it thieves or animals, the only reason why they're coming into the pen is to destroy you. Now, they may not think they're doing it. Like an animal, I don't think an animal would jump in going, oh, I'm going to kill the sheep. They're going in going, I need to eat. So many times I think with religion and philosophies, people are just trying to meet their needs, but they don't realize that the religion is leading them away from God, because this is what religion says. Religion says, if you want a relationship with God, if you want the life that God blesses, you have to do this, and then you got to do this, and then you got to do this. Oh, don't forget over this, and don't forget to carry the one. And it is a constant life of do. And you literally, what most people do is they can't do it anymore, so they fake it, and they become hypocrites. And that's why probably today you're listening to me going, yeah, that's why I rejected the Bible. That's why I rejected Christianity. And that is why we live in a post-Christian world. So we may say, well, we don't need to follow religion to have life. We need to follow our heart. And we need to find the truth that is within us. And if we just follow the truth that is within us, we will be okay. And as long as we are true to our heart and we don't hurt somebody else, life will be perfect. Now, what's really interesting, and you can reject the Bible, but the Bible speaks into this, and the fact that the animal that Jesus uses and the animal the Bible uses to depict humans is very interesting. It's a sheep. Now, you may not be around sheep a lot. When we lived in Ethiopia, this was very common. You would drive down the road and there would be sheep, and you would come and just buy sheep. And it's interesting that the Bible uses sheep because they are the only animal that needs to have a human leader. You will not see sheep, you may see goats, but you will not see sheep running around. They have to have a leader to lead them in and out, because if they go on their own, they will die. They will be destroyed. They will be killed by an animal. So a sheep has to have a shepherd. And if you think about humans, we are so much dictated by our leader. Can you imagine? Just think through this. Mankind has done some amazingly awesome things because they were led to it. Be like, Gandhi and peace, or Martin Luther King, the people who said follow peace, and that led to amazing things. But then there's been other people who say fill all that you can, get all that you can, and that's why these same people could do just terrible atrocities. Why? Because we're sheep. We need to be led. Now you may say, no, I don't know about that, but what if I lead myself? I don't need someone to lead me. I'll just follow my heart, because leaders are bad. Religion is bad. The problem with that is that our heart, the Bible teaches, has been deceived. See, when sin entered the world, it deceived our heart to teach us that if we just chase after our desires, we'll be okay. And just like any other itch, you could scratch it, but guess what? It's going to want to be scratched again. So the Bible is very clear. When you chase the desires of your heart, they're appetites. And an appetite has to be filled over and over and over again. And your life becomes chasing one appetite to the next. And instead of having a satisfied life, you have a life that you're chasing things over and over and over again. So what is the answer? If it's not religion, it's not a human leader, and it's not my heart, it's the fact that you need Jesus to change your heart. See, in the Old Testament, they predicted that when Jesus comes on the scene, there's going to be this new interaction between God and man. And God is going to take our old heart that's callous and wants to do what it wants to do. And he's going to give us a heart of flesh. And when we do that, it enables us to follow God so that we can be his people and he can be our God. That has been his desire from the beginning of mankind, is an interaction with us. And it is that relationship that brings us life. And then he also says, those who pursue their desire, it's going to end up crushing them. So I don't know where you're at today. I don't know if you've been playing the game of life and you've got the cool car, you've got your wife or your husband, you've got the kids and the cats, and you just keep going around the track and you think, if I just add one more thing, or if I pursue one more thing, or if I need to get by myself and listen to my heart, and if I'll follow that. If you're there today, I want to ask you, do you think there could be more? Imagine there was a God who wanted to lead you into every circumstance. And when he does, he always has your best at heart. That is what is offered in Jesus when you make him your shepherd. Now, in the next couple weeks, I hope you stay with us, and I hope you're enjoying this series on Satisfied. I ask you to subscribe, like, comment us, join in on the dialogue in the community. We want to learn from you, because in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be diving into what it looks like, this life that God has for us. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. Have a great day.